Okay, so here is that diagram that applied to what we just did. Okay, so here was your fuel pump relay. Here was our ECMB fuse, right? We saw power on both sides, both of those little metal tabs on top of the fuse. Power came in on 30. 30 is always the one with the hinged circuit here. Comes out on 87, right? Over here, we see that 86 is grounded right here. 85 flows back to the control on the fuel pump. 87 comes down, jumps over, and flows into the fuel pump. Now notice this little prime. Notice this has a prime connector in the fuse box, but it's not at 87A, right? It's just tapping straight in here. It's in the wiring of the fuse box itself, right? So what we did was we saw that this is grounded all the time at the magnet, which means it can never change, which means the computer has to supply at 12 volts if we can't change that other one. So what we did was we saw power come into here. We saw this get magnetized, this clicked, it flowed out on 87. Fuel pump turned on. We also saw that I supplied, right? Because if this is not supplying 12 volts, then this line is dead, right? Ground is going to flow through the winding of the magnet and come all the way back to here. I supply power to it. It's already grounded. It becomes magnetized, and this flips. I have to be careful never to ground this one, right? If I take power and I power the one that's already grounded, poof, and magic smoke comes out of something. Okay, so always make sure we know which one is ground. The other side is the one we do. And the same thing goes the other way. If we have a relay and power's there all the time, then the computer supplies ground. Right? So we always have to look what is permanently there, and then we can go and do the opposite to the other leg. All right? So now we're going to do something else. We're going to do two things. One, we are going to this ECMB fuse. We're going to remove the fuse. We're going to install something that lets us measure amperage. Okay? After that, we're going to do some things with fuel injectors. Okay, so let's say we want to measure the amperage of the fuel pump, which you'll have to do on your lab if you get to do it. All right, so we have two ways of doing it, right? One, we do it directly through the meter, setting it on amperage. And the second way is with an inductive amp clamp, right? In which case we would have to put a loop in the fuse area, right? Create a loop and then clamp it there. And then bring any of those home with me. All right, so our fuse we determined before was ECMB. Now, ECMB is a 20 amp fuse, right? What's the most that we can put into a meter? It's 10, right? So we can never hook this up with a 20 amp fuse. We have to switch it to a 10. Right? We might blow it, but it's better than blowing the meter. So we're going to use something that we can put into that fuse area, right? And I'm going to put this in there, right? Now I'm going to use my little J-kit stuff, and actually I'm going to turn it this way. And we're going to create our own little thingamajiggy. All right? So now we're going to take the 10 amp fuse, and we're going to hook it up in line. We're going to take our meter readings. Our ground, I think we're going to put, let's see, let's put it over here. What's going to happen if we hook it up backwards? We hook it up backwards, It's just going to be negative. Okay, and we're set for amps. Put it like that. I think you can probably see that a little better. All right, so make sure we're on amps DC, which we are. And now I'm going to start it. Now you're going to see this thing's going to spike up pretty good. I saw when it was running, it was running at 9 amps. All right, so let's start it up. See what happens. All right, see we're negative 9.1. That's because their leads are backwards. If I switch them, watch what happens. I take this one, and I take this one, and I switch to this one and this one. It's like switching the two leads to different spots. And now when I start it, no more negative. Alright, so that's the amperage that's running through the fuel pump. If I rev it up, it changes some, but not much, because fuel pumps run pretty much at the same speed, unless they have their own little control module. Alright, so that's how we measure the amperage. Now I want to show you something funny. Imagine my surprise when I pulled the fuse out before, and the plastic came off all by itself, giving me the metal that used to be inside it. Yep, something new happens every day. Alright, so on to the next thing.